2-8 start. In his 4th season at the helm, offensive coordinator Mike Kafka will be the interim head coach. Giants blew a late 10-point lead against the Bears Sunday, giving them their 4th straight loss. But was it the right time to let Brian Daboll go? Dan Orlovsky has some thoughts.
I'm of the belief this is a mistake by the New York Giants. It was clear that the quarterback and head coach had something going together, at least this production, performance, and hope. The fourth quarter leads are obviously something that you're sitting there and, killing yourself over. This team lost its best player. And then they lost probably their second or third best, certainly offensive weapon in Scatterbo. The fact that they had built these leads should warrant something. And the reality is this defense that's got a gajillion dollars or early draft picks had 10-point fourth quarter leads 4 different times this year, and they couldn't find ways to secure the lead either. And so as much as we want to sit there and say Daboll didn't get it done, a lot of the high-priced defensive talent didn't get it done as well. I think that Brian Daboll and Jackson Dart should have stayed together for at least another year.
All right, well, the head coach and the GM are usually intertwined. And, Chris, I want to start with you. Was it right to let Brian Daboll go and keep Joe Schoen?
Well, before I even get to that, I just got to acknowledge what Dan Orlovsky says. He come up with more excuses than a brother going to jail for these coaches.
Wait a minute.
Dano, it's not as if Brian Daboll didn't have a shot to get this thing figured out in New York. He had plenty of runway. He started off 7-2 and then proceeded to go 13-38-1. How long is ownership supposed to give him? And I give Daboll credit. He identified Jackson Dart, the talent, the quarterback that's got everybody here to be excited about, in good reason. But I think we've got plenty of examples across the NFL this season on firing the head coach in the rookie year of the quarterback and not ruining the quarterback in year 2. Look at the Chicago Bears with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. Look at the New England Patriots with Drake May and Mike Vrabel. If you get the right head coach, it's only up from here for the quarterback. And that's what the Giants now have an opportunity to do with this coaching hire that they're about to make, because this is going to be one of the most attractive jobs in this cycle. But now, getting to the question about Joe Schoen, I don't understand what he's done to justify keeping his job.
There you go.
I don't know what he's done. Because Joe Schoen will forever and always be the face of the New York Giants, allowing Saquon Barkley to go down the turnpike to the Philadelphia Eagles, rush for 2,005 yards, 15 touchdowns, and be the catalyst for a Super Bowl run, winning the Lombardi in Super Bowl 59. That is inexcusable. As somebody that got blood in the ground over there at MetLife Stadium, that's invested in that franchise, that is egregious. You can't let that happen. And then to add on top of that, you got Daniel Jones, a quarterback that you took with a top 10 pick once upon a time, a quarterback who this regime paid go to the Indianapolis Colts and lead them to the best record in the NFL. These are homegrown players. And here's the thing, Jeff. Everybody makes the argument, oh, those guys wouldn't have been that if they'd have been with the New York Giants. My question to that is, why? What is it about our culture that keeps them from thriving here, but they can go other places in the NFL and be successful? That's not only on the head coach, that's on the GM too. Joe Schoen should have been gone.
I feel like Chris Kennedy is taking us to church. Go ahead.
He is taking us to church. He's absolutely right. My issue wasn't with Brian Daboll being gone. My issue was him being the only one that's gone. Joe Schoen should definitely be gone. And oh, by the way, he damn sure shouldn't still be around to pick the next head coach. That is egregious in and of itself. He should not. He's done nothing to deserve that. And then we have to take into account a break. This is why I feel bad for Brian Daboll, because I think he proved when he first arrived that he knows what he's doing as a coach, okay? But these are the things that I thought he did wrong. First of all, a bit temperamental on the sidelines, okay? I think we got to point to that, right? Defeatist attitude. A lot of times you saw it. And you know what was really, really egregious? How all in he was on Jackson Dart. And let me explain. That was clearly his savior. That was clearly his lifeline. And you knew it. Nothing else mattered. You're running into the tent, not wanting him to go into concussion protocol where the NFL has to investigate. That's a very, very bad look, right? You put him out there. He's a rookie quarterback with 4 concussions.
Yeah.
4 times in concussion protocol.
Come on, man.
And you're calling 5 designed running plays for him?
Right.
A guy that was in there 3 times before he got his 4th concussion? What are you thinking?
Right.
You're throwing him to the wolves. And then you piggyback off of what you said because of Daniel Jones, how Daniel Jones is looking. So you got somebody else in the Indianapolis Colts who have clearly developed a player in 1 year, what you failed to do with him all the years you had him.
Exactly.
Okay? So that's a bad look. And last but not least, this is the 3rd consecutive year that the Giants in their first 10 games were 2-8.
Ooh.
So the season's over with 8 weeks to go
That's right.
in a season for 3 consecutive years.
Right.
3 consecutive years, the season's over before Thanksgiving.
That's right.
The season's over before November.
Yeah.
That is not good. As much as I love Brian Dable, I could not defend.
Yeah.
I could not, poo-poo the Giants' decision. Definitely, he deserved to go, but Joe Schoen should not be there. I mean, he should not be there at all. He needs to be out too.
Yeah, I agree with both of y'all. I think this should be. They came in together. They should leave together. Some of the decisions they made, and to your point, I can't stand the argument. They wouldn't have been the same here. Like, don't give me that, right? Give me a chance to see what they're going to be here, as opposed to another team. I will say this as well. When I think of, I would have liked to see Dayball finish the season, but I think knowing that they were both going to get let go at the end of the year, but I think Kafka is one they really want to see what he can do. That's kind of the word is that, hey, can he, because he's been a finalist for a couple of jobs. Seattle, I know he was a finalist. And so, this is a guy that would be on the radar no matter what. So I think they're going to try to do it this way. The problem for me is when you're allowing the same general manager now to pick the next coach is what are the power dynamics going to be in the building? Because if you want the Mike McDonald's or the Vrabels or the Dan Quinns or because I heard Dan O talk about the relationship between the head coach and the quarterback. Well, that's not really the head coach. That's the offensive coordinator and the quarterback, right? That's that mentality. I'm not saying he's calling the plays, but that's the mentality of it. You don't have to be an offensive coordinator or an offensive mind coach to have a great relationship with your quarterback.
No doubt.
And you're seeing a lot of defensive-minded coaches, Todd Bowles, you can go find a really good OC to go help Jackson Dart. You need somebody to come in that building and raise the floor of who the Giants are. You need to have a guy who comes in and goes, hey, this is what our culture is going to look like. And we're going to be this team. We're going to be this style. We're going to have this direction. That's what that head coach. And if your power dynamic goes general manager, head coach, that's going to be an issue. It's going to have to be equal. And the way that the Giants are starting this, I have an issue with.
I think it's important before we move on. Let me read the quote from Mr. John Mara, co-owner for the New York Giants. We feel like Joe, as in Joe Schoen, has a something. I call him Joe Schoen. I say shame. Shame on him for I don't call him Shane. I call him shame. Shame on him for what he did with Saquon Barkley.
Right.
How he acted, he just showed his true colors with that whole soft knocks. That's what I call it, soft knocks. Your hard knocks is people that win. Soft knocks is teams that lose. That's what I call soft knocks, right? And he just embarrassed himself. But he says, John Mara says, we feel like Joe has assembled a good young nucleus of talent, and we look forward to its development. Unfortunately, the results over the past 3 years have not been what any of us want. We take full responsibility for those results and look forward to the kind of success our fans expect. First of all, they're lying. Because if it's full responsibility, Shane would have been gone as well.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, 6 first-round picks, including 4 in the top 7 over the last 4 years, okay? This is going to be their first